We got to talk about some trade rumors. Of course, the big one came out today. Curious Levert going to Cleveland in exchange for Ricky Rubio and some draft picks. That one's a huge one because we obviously know that the trade were always coming, and it's just kind of one of those things that we looked at it, and people are trying to move some stuff. But more specifically, Terry, I want to talk more so about what this does for a guy like Sabonis, or what this does for a guy like Miles Turner. Let's start with Sabonis first. Sabonis has been in recent talks and has been shopped around. What do you think are some potential
Yeah.
landing spots for a guy like Sabonis?
Oh, for Sabonis, I can see him potentially going to one. It's not in no particular order, but the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Lakers, um, maybe the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies, I don't. The
Um,
Grizzlies have too much chemistry right now. I don't think they want to mess that up. Um,
yeah, but a guy like Sabonis, though, inside, it's kind of like I'd
yeah,
rather have him than Adams, man.
yeah.
Like, and get rid of a guy or something like Sabonis. He's young too. He's younger than. That's one team. Another team.
Mm.
Um,
Can I give you a team that might be scary and it might do it? I think the Golden State Warriors could potentially go after him. The reason why I say that is because they have all the assets. They have a Moody. They have a Wiseman, who's still kind of recovering from injury. And they just got a bunch of assets that they could trade and get Sabonis and really solidify their big man position that I feel like they lack. I mean, especially if you have two guys in Sabonis and Green as kind of like the interior
that
guys,
would be.
they would be scary. And I think they have the assets to do
Yeah.
it. They have the
Oh my
assets to
god.
do it, man. And as much as I would, as much as to my dismay of seeing the Warriors be a dominant team, just because my pride in me, LeBron James fanism in me, they're still a great team, but and they do a lot
Yeah.
of great offensive stuff that I love to watch, and also try to add to my coaching repertoire. But at the same
Yeah.
time, they that could potentially be a big move, and if that could send shockwaves around the NBA if they do acquire Sabonis.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one. I mean, if they had the bonus, man, they would be very transition, very freaking, very athletic. The only thing I think why they wouldn't do is organization of the Warriors, Bob Myers, Draymond, they're real they don't like letting go guys who they really like, if you notice.
Hmm.
Like Draymond's been in a lot of trades and he never got released because he won a championship. They
Hmm.
always praise Wiseman. This
Yeah.
guy, he's kid next one, he's gonna be good, young fella.
Yeah.
I think they get so much chemistry right now, and they're on a 9-game winning streak. Even trade James Wiseman, it can throw off the team because him just being in the locker room, he's not playing it. It
Hmm.
still can contribute to what they're playing good, right? Like all the laughs on the road. He's still young. He's a number.
Yeah.
He's really good. I mean, he could be better than Sabonis. All we know, he can have a shot and be like Anthony Davis for years.
Yeah.
And they're getting older now, so it's kind of like it's not really a need. I understand what you're saying, but to get rid of Wiseman and then to get rid of maybe like a Jordan Poole, it's not really worth it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think they're gonna hold on to him. But hey, you never know. You never know. But I
Yeah.
just think the way they have Clay back now, if they
Hmm.
didn't have Clay back, Clay was set back and he wasn't returning, then I could probably see them trading James. But now they have Clay back. It's like shit. They don't want to mess up any chemistry.
Yeah.
The
I
only
mean,
guy I think they would trade for to really shake things up and package guys is maybe like Carl Anthony. It would have to be a real superstar,
yeah.
like a real superstar, like Anthony Davis, like if he's signed there, or someone like that. But I don't think they're going to give up some assets for key role players for Sabonis. I mean, Sabonis is really good. Don't get me wrong, but he's not gonna get 40 on you in a playoff game. I don't think, right?
I
And
mean,
just erupt
I mean, he
20 in a
could.
quarter.
I think he could. I
He
mean, if
could,
you.
he could, but I also see Sabonis. Sometimes he does some stupid things, like he'll, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll do some stupid fouls. for, he's not like an Anthony Davis type to where it's like it's 5 minutes left and he's going to be clutch and get you 10 points in the last 5 minutes,
Yeah.
15 points, or 20 points. I think the only, yeah, unless they got him for cheap and they didn't have to give up Wiseman and they have to give, I don't know, someone like a Nate, they're not even going to give a Poole for him. I don't think because Poole is a very key contributor to their bench.
Yeah. They're not going to get rid of
But
anybody
I love
that they're not going to get rid of any of their guards. I think the Warriors have made that clear, and I think that they're going to keep those guys because they need someone to kind of continue the motion that Curry does, and all those guards, and that Klay Thompson does, and all those guards do that extremely well, and they all have their own flavor to it. So I don't think that they're necessarily going to get rid of that. Three more teams I think could potentially have it. The Hornets is a team that this website talked about. The Sacramento Kings, another one, and even another one that people haven't been mentioning is, well, I'm not sure now because they traded away all their assets, but I know the Blazers to go where his dad used to play back in the day. I think for me, the one that I see the most realistic of all of them, um,
Mhm.
I think could be the Sacramento Kings, and really try to build
Really.
around Halliburton and Sabonis, and Buddy Hield, and try to do it that way because that's the only thing that makes sense and the only one that I'm like, yeah, that could work. But the problem is that the Sacramento Kings, they get rid of De'Aaron Fox, he goes to Indiana, but then Indiana's still stuck in the same situation where they have like a very young point guard, but none of the rest of their pieces are ready to compete at that point. And I think
Yeah,
and the only thing I was
it
also
just
going to say
doesn't.
was the only thing I was going to say left was just the Hornets. They would have to give up some assets, and I don't think they're a team that wants to give up their assets.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. I just think too, like it doesn't really move the needle for the Kings or the Pacers. I think teams that are really great for him, like yeah, I see some things with the Wizards. Wizards aren't going to move every five bonus. Like they're not going to. They're not. It's the team that acquires the bonus is looking to win a championship.
Yeah.
It's not the team like a Kings or something like that. They're just wasting time. Like they're and I don't. He probably his agent and him will probably even decline it because it just doesn't make sense. He's in a worse position than he was in Indiana team because it's a development. I mean, he's still young, but he's not like he's 19. He's 25 or 26 now. So if
Yeah.
they're trying to experience for 3 years, he pops up. Oh shit, I'm 29 and a half, about to turn 30. Can only get
Mm-hmm.
one more max contract. Now he's struggling trying to. You see what I'm saying? Like it has to make sense because the years go by fast and the seasons go by. Next thing you know, he's trying to rebuild with the Kings, and he hasn't even been in the playoffs. I think another team could be is the maybe John Collins, maybe for Sabonis, maybe because I know there is some frustration with John Collins
Yeah.
with the Hawks, and they can try to swap because they play like the same position. That would kind of move the needle maybe for the Hawks, but I don't know, man. I just think Sabonis is going to be a guy who signs with the team. I don't think nobody's willing to trade assets. A team that's really has the pieces to get him isn't going to really do it because
Mm-hmm.
if it's not like a Anthony Davis or Karl Anthony Towns and you're not like, okay, yeah, let's go win a championship. Like it's kind of a 50-50 coin flip. I mean, it's like that for you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense to give a lot of key assets up for Sabonis.
Yeah. And we'll
Yes,
see
he's
what
talented.
happens.
Yeah,
I mean, this is going to be one of those ones that I think is going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to come down to the final day, and I think some team is going to pull the trigger. I just don't know which team. We don't know which team it's going to be. For all we know, it could be the Boston.
yeah.
For all we know, it could be the Boston Celtics pulling that trigger. But we'll
For
see
all
what
we know,
happens.
for all we know, Zion Williams could be traded this week. For all we know, there could be a lot of guys on the move in the next 3 days. So I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see. Though.
Yeah, and we're gonna kind of move on, and this kind of topic will bleed into the next one, talking about Celtics trades and talking about what's been the rumors for the Celtics at this point. We know Dennis Schroeder's on the trade block. There's been a lot of things going on. So before we get into that, just let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Sabonis. Where do you think his best fit is as a player? Where do you think his best fit is in an organization? Do you guys think that he should be trying to go to a Lakers or a Warriors even? And let us know if that's something that your team, if you are interested in the trade rumors or for Sabonis, let us know if that's a player that you would want to have on your team.
Oh,